How to make AI for Mugen fighting game characters is what we're going to be talking about today. This is something that I've learned how to do over the years, and some people were asking me how to do it, and so I decided to make a short tutorial. First off, you're going to need the list of triggers that are going to be used for the AI. This is the list right here. I'm going to make sure that this list is available in the description down below for you to check out and come back to in case you need to find more triggers. Basically, a trigger is when something happens, the character will do something. Such as if a character is close to your character, you will tell it to do a move. Next off, we're going to need a character, which I'm sure you already have. And you put that character into Fighter Factory. I highly recommend that you make sure you have Fighter Factory 3.7 or higher. And also, this AI is only going to be working for Mugen 1.0 or higher. If you're working with anything lower than 1.0, this is not the tutorial for you. Alright, so we already have Mr. Goose. Looking at Mr. Goose. Ready to go. You're going to want to hit Control D. This will bring up the numbers and states that you're going to need to look at. I have my game set up so I can resize everything. I don't remember exactly what that was, but that was an option in the Mugen.config. I can't remember what it was called now. Anyway, I did that, and you can see when I resize everything, these numbers are really easy to see now. So I'm able to read everything and basically start coding here. Alright, so right now we hit the pause key on our keyboard, which is right next to scroll lock. Hopefully you have that key. I think most keyboards do. We can go through the training menu that's in practice. And we're going to want to go right. And we're going to go ahead and just hit the button on Dummy Control AI level 8. So he's just going to do random things now. He's going through random states and basically doing the moves that are there. He's not really doing anything interesting. I can probably just kick him all day. He sure is blocking well, that's for sure. That blocking code could be in there for my common one that is in the data folder. But anyway, not much is going on. Block that and throw him over there. Haha. Let's see, that turns that off, it turns it off. Alright. So we're gonna want to do something a little bit smarter. We're gonna try and make it so when he's far away, he'll throw a fireball. And if he's closer, he'll do not a counter, but he'll do this attack. It's got some range on it anyway, but something like this close up is always really good. And there. So we're going to be doing those two attacks in this tutorial. So let's work with the fireball first. Down in the corner, if we do a fireball, we see that the action and the state are numbered 1000. So this is move 1000. We're going to go over into Fighter Factory. We're going to click on the joystick here. Oh, do I even have mouse on? Oh, I don't have mouse on. That's odd. Okay, anyway. So we're going to click this joystick, and the joystick is our command file. This is where all your commands go for all your moves. We're going to check out. I'm just going to type in 1000 and hit find. If you don't have the search bar at the bottom, you hit Control F, and that will bring up your search bar. Boop, just like that. Let's do value. Value equals 1000. So this is our fireball. Oh yes, yes, we have to put in AI code. Basically, this code is, it's going to tell the game engine that there's AI here. To follow this AI, to do the moves that I set to do. Let's see, let's put this in here. And the AI will do them. Now, Mugen has its own AI, and it's going to... You've seen the AI just like kind of jump around and do kicks and stuff. There's no way to disable that. That's always going to happen. I've heard that there is a couple of ways to just kind of override it, but that is not in this tutorial. All right, so we've copied in the AI code. Basically, how AI works in Mugen is, let's see, settings. No, there is a setting in options in Mugen that you can go to, and it's numbered 1 through 8. 8 being the AI is going to be incredibly difficult, and 1 is going to be incredibly easy. The way that works is the AI is turned on and off. And when you have the AI on level 1, the AI is going to be turned off, I would probably guess, for like 3 seconds, and then turn back on for like maybe a half a second, and then turn back off for 3 seconds. Whereas something like level 5, the AI is going to be on for a second, turned off for a second, turned on for a second, something like that. Another thing is for characters, normally variable 59 and variable 58 are used for AI coding. There aren't that many characters that actually use these numbers unless it's for AI. Some characters use variables for fireballs, for running, for specific moves, intros, outros, all kinds of different things. But normally, 59 and 58 are used for AI because people really love AI. All right, so we have this code in. Make sure that we save. And then there is another block of AI that we need to pop in. Let's see. I always go back to my older characters that I code, get my AI code, because I could update something and then I could update something in a character, and then later on, all my other characters that I make after that, I don't have that update. So I always get the code from my last character. That way, all my other characters from then on will be updated. All right, and we're going to put the second block of code right at the bottom. And basically, there's a couple of things here. This is, now we're getting into stuff that you're going to have to decide if you want in your character or not. I have damage dampening. I'm unsure if this even works. I seen it somewhere and I decided to put it in, so I was testing it. But the rest of these are all defense code that I have put together. So I do, of course, you can see, I'm doing a KOF character. So the dodge for this character is, these are the dodges. So this one is 760 and this one is 761. So I'm going to put 760 here. And basically what this does is this is looking for a projectile. So if there's a projectile within this distance, it will do this state, which is dodging. This right here is projectile blocking. The state is 130. This is the blocking state for every character. This is to jump over projectile, which is state 40. This is also a state for every character. This state here is projectile dodge, which I have up here. I think I may have it in here twice. I have not looked at this in quite some time, so I'm not exactly sure why. This is another dodge, but this is to get out of a corner. You can see here, this is back edge distance. This is how close your character's back is to the edge of the screen. And if it's within this number, it will go to this value or this state. So basically, if their back is against the wall, they'll try and get out of it with a dodge. You could put jump, you could put something else in there. Sometimes I've put throw in there, where if their back is against the wall and the character is within this distance right here, between 1 and 15, they'll do a throw. So I've snuck that in there to just be a little bit interesting. This is crouching block. This is the same number for everybody. This is just a straight normal block when a character is within distance and they are attacking. That's what this A is. Player 2 move type is attack. This is an air guard. Most KOF games don't have a air guard, so I have this all commented out. These, when I say comment, that's this right here. Anything that is past this, the game won't read. So you could type whatever the hell you want in there, and it won't read anything, which is perfect for notes. Like this, it says block. This says crouching. These are all notes for me or for anybody else that wants to figure out what the hell I'm coding here. All right, so now we're going to get into an actual move. Next, we're going to copy in some code for our move. So this is a standard block AI, code block of AI for me. Other people may have done it different ways. I'm going to change this to light fireball. And let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things here. This right here, state type equals S. This means standing. So you're only going to be doing, or your character's AI is only going to do this move when they're standing. Now, if you remember, our fireball attack is 1000. So you put that there. And then, when is he going to throw it? Now, this right here controls the randomness on how often that he's going to be throwing that fireball. You can raise this number super high, and he'll constantly keep throwing fireballs. So if you have a character that is doing the move over and over and over, like way too much, you want to lower or raise this number to control that. Next down here is the distance. So if we were to put this at 0, he would only throw fireballs point blank range. I kind of like to put fireballs at 100. At 100, they will throw fireballs around this range right here. 200, which is pretty smart for a fireball. You want to maybe do like faster fireballs here. 200's probably around here, and 100's around here. So what we're going to do for this situation is to put it at 200, so we can see if he continuously throws fireballs even from across the screen. I'll bring up the AI, and there we go. Off he goes to his wonderful world of throwing fireballs. Woo! There, he jumped over the fireball as well. Oh, these fireballs don't hit each other. Fun. Another day of code. Alright, let's turn that off. Alright, so now let's control this. And we're going to change this to make it so it only throws... He throws a fireball in a certain distance, other than from 0 to 200, which is 0 to 200. We're going to try and make it so when he's here and here, he'll throw a fireball, but when he's here, he won't throw a fireball. So we bring up all of our triggers, and we're going to use this one right here. It's very close to what we already have. However, you can see that there's a distance in here. There's between 30 and 80. So we're going to make that 200. We're going to make this to 50. 50. So I said that this is about 100. This is about 50. So maybe now, well, let's do 80. I think 80's probably around here. So he'll stop doing fireballs around there. All right. So now, when he's closer, we'll have him do this. This is state 1205 or 12. 1200. All right. So I don't know the name of this text. I'm going to say light multi-hit. Multi-hit. And it is state 1200, right? Yes. All right. So let's get our triggers out, because I changed that other one to something else. We're going to change it back. Now, there was a different trigger here, and that was good for distance as well, but this is pretty much the same thing. So no worries about using a different trigger for the same thing, because it is the same thing. It's just probably coded a little bit differently. All right, so we got state 1200. It will go off between 0 and 80. And I think we're good. We'll see if he does it. So what we done was we made it so he will shoot fireballs from a distance. As soon as he gets close, he's going to keep doing the multi-hits. There we go. No more fireballs. Mostly multi-hits. All right. You can see where I'm going with this. It's, now you need to be creative to get these moves going off whenever they are supposed to be going off. So, we're going to do a couple more here. A couple more key ones that I think that people are going to be asking about. Uppercuts. Uppercuts is the main one. So this code, this is for an uppercut. Player 2 state type is A. A means that the character is up in the air. Our state is state type A, which is turned off by this. This could also just be equals S, but I have it like this for now. Not sure why, but I know it works. And then here's the key thing. This is like the other code that we deleted up here. But I feel it's more important to use it in this situation because this is looking for a character that is above you, which is this distance. So if this character is this distance above you, then do this value. All right? So let's throw Geese the other way. Get out of here. So Geese doesn't really have... Oh, well, he's got this. So we're going to give him this. Of course, you would want something stronger. But you know what? He's not really feeling it today. He's just going to duck down and punch somebody out of the air. And you can't blame him. Can't blame him. So, if I jump at this Geese and I hit this distance, he should hit me with this punch. In theory. We may have to make it so he has to crouch, but I kind of doubt it. Yep, there he goes. See, now the thing is, though, you know, when you're testing this out, he's probably going to be doing moves. But he did. He did not. There he goes. He's already doing moves that we already told him to do. But you can see when I'm getting close to him and jumping at him, he's going to try and knock me out of the air if he's not doing one of his other moves already. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we have our code put into Geese. Now, unfortunately, the Geese that I'm working on has no combinations at all whatsoever. They're just not added in yet. So I'm going to just show you with DuLong here how the code works after I explain how this works. So basically, the code right here is the same code that we're using up here. It's practically the same. Maybe there's a different trigger in here somewhere, but it's all the same, okay? So, this code underneath it is a little bit different. So, what it's doing is, first of all, a trigger needs to be... First of all, this trigger is move hit. Move hit means that... Let's see, where's the pause button here? Move hit means the move hit. It doesn't mean that the move was blocked. If the move was blocked, that would be trigger move contact. Here's move hit. This is move contact. Move contact means that the move just hit, but it didn't do damage. It was blocked. It did something else, but it connected with another character. Move hit means that it did hit, it's doing damage. It's not blocked. So this is what this trigger is. And then as soon as this hits, it's going to also look for this state number. Okay? the state number needs to equal the value that is up here. So when move 1000 hits, it's going to also trigger this. And it's going to be like, oh, this hit, let's do this move next. Okay? And this move is 1010. Now this one right here is the exact same thing, except that this is looking for move 1010. And if this connects, then it's going to do 1011. All right? So basically you're looking at a rekka here. This is what we call a rekka. A 3-hit combination move that you have to do 3 times in a row to do the full entire move. So this move goes off, and then automatically the game will do this move and this move in order. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the AI. So what I have to do now is the range on this is 20. So this move is only going to go off if I'm like point blank to player 2. Once you see this, you'll see that the character will go into a 3-hit combo and then maybe do a super or something after it. There it is. Get closer. There it is. That's our 3-hit right there. Now that range is pretty damn close. 20 pixels is, wow, really close. That may need to be adjusted. But yeah. Everything that character is doing over there right now is all already coded for distance, when to do it, and basically to combo into whatever else that the character has at their disposal. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. I'm sure that there's some things that I'm leaving out. I know that there's some throw code. Well, we can go take a look at the throws really quick. That's not very difficult either. Basically, you put in the state, you do the same code as before, and you want to make sure that it's within throwing range. So throwing range is usually like 15 pixels. Sometimes some characters will have it set lower than that, but you shouldn't really have an issue. If your character is doing something really weird when another character is close to them, then this number is probably off. And you need to reduce it smaller to like 10 or maybe 5. Hopefully it's not that low, but you never know. Supers. Supers are coded the exact same way again, except this time around, you're going to put in this trigger that says power greater than 1000. So this move will go off when a character's power meter is over 1000. And then you know the rest, because it'll take off 1000, it'll do the super move, and this guy will get hurt really bad. And that, I think, pretty much sums up everything. There are some issues with this AI. There are characters that, for some reason, they'll be walking along or running or something like that, and all of a sudden they'll do this. I don't know why exactly that happens. It could be because the attacks that I put into my characters, I never code for them crouching, because I never see the game crouch that often. That could be why. It could be the game's like, well, this move is for crouching, because I'll code in trips and stuff and low attacks. But I think that sometimes the game is just kind of confused and won't know if it should be crouching or standing, and it'll do this a little bit and then get out of it and go back to normal. But that's just a theory. I'm not exactly sure if the way that I code things is causing that glitch. There are going to be times where you have like a fireball that is basically coded weird, or another move like an uppercut or something like that. You'll see two variations, which is the short and the hard versions, both in the same code. I don't know why people do that. I guess it's because they don't want to code two different uppercuts and are trying to shorten the amount of time that they're coding. It's weird because if you need to adjust one, you have to like go into it and mess with it and blah blah blah. Anyway, sometimes that makes the character act really wonky and weird if two moves are coded into one move. When that happens, you want to default to whatever the first one is. I don't think I can find an example here, but I'll just kind of type something out. Let's see. Command. Okay, there'll be times where it's like, command equals Y. We'll do Z. Z. Okay, sometimes you'll see something like this. This means that you can do command Y or you can do command Z. These are button presses. And then the move will go off. You'll see usually some numbers underneath that is like value 211 or whatever the value is, and then like another number after that and blah blah blah. That means that there's multiple attacks in the same code. So you just want to kind of default to the first one, which is the first number. You just want to code AI for the first number. You might get a short uppercut or whatever the move is. You might get a slow fireball. But unless you go into the character, separate the two attacks, and then make the attack two separate things, and then boom, you got two attacks. You know, you got the light one and you got the hard one. If you want to do that, that's what I do. Separate those attacks so then I can actually code the AI appropriately. If you don't want to do that, then you want to just go and default to the first attack, which is always going to be probably the light version of the attack. Now that might have been a little bit confusing, but later on, when you're messing with this code and you're messing with the AI, that's probably going to make a lot of sense when you suddenly come across it and you come back to this video and see what I said about it again. I think that pretty much sums up everything. We covered how to make standard AI. We did a couple attacks. We did combo. We did anti-air. And I think anything else you want to do, you can pretty much figure out on your own. Especially after looking all of these triggers that will allow you to do things. Trigger when character's in the air. Trigger when your character is not in the air. You can see a lot of potential in a lot of this stuff. Trigger when your opponent is crouching. That's, you know, you put this in when you want to do an overhead. There's stuff in here too for when you want to do a throw. And it just makes everything really, really perfectly laid out for you to try and figure out what you want to do for your characters. I hope this helped a lot. There are better ways to do code for AI. This works for me. I know that I can go in and fix anything that I want afterwards without messing with a whole bunch of other things after coding. Um, and if you guys come across better ways on doing code, or if you just have questions, feel free to put your font in the comments down below. Also, if there's an update for this video, it's going to be in the description. So always check out the description to see if there is a brand new video with things that you guys have told me about that I'm doing wrong. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody.